me home tonight. Oh, down beside that red firelight. Oh, you're gonna let it all hang out. Fat bottom girls, you make the rockin' world go round.
Welcome to ArcheryAddicts.com. Today we're going to be reviewing Winchester Archery's new QS34, the Quicksilver 34. It's a 34-inch axle-to-axle bow. It comes in draw lengths from 27 to 30, draw weights of 50 to 70, has a reported IBO of up to 343 feet per second, and let-off is adjustable from 55 to 80%. When I got this bow in, this bow has already been to someone else for a review. So this isn't, I can't give you specs as it would come straight off the line from Winchester because it has gone to another writer before I got it. What I can tell you is the way it came to me, axle to axle was roughly 34. It was just a hair over 29 inches, about an eighth of an inch or so. You know, could have been just the way we were checking it, and it was dead on at 70 pounds. The reason I bring up that somebody else had it, and I can't report how it would come directly from the factory. When I shot this for IBO speeds, I shot a 358 grain arrow at 315 feet per second, which would put the IBO of this bow at roughly 333. A little bit lower than we would like to see. I don't know what adjustments were made by the person that had it before me. I don't know what kind of goofing around they did with it. Also, when the guy was installing the peep for me at the shop the other day, he pulled both of the draw stops. So they're not in the optimal position right now. I goofed around with it just for a couple of minutes to get a decent valley out of it. But right now it's shooting a little slow. I think from the way this bow feels, well, I know for a fact, when we get custom threads on it and get this thing optimized by either Scotty PA or John Mosier, John's Custom Strings, it's going to easily make IBO spec. Very, very nice bow, but that's my opinion. We'll know more once I ship it off and get her back. A couple things about it: they have their AccuSpeed technology cams. It's a 2-track binary cam system, dual draw stops. Love this system. Have always loved this system since it came out. Great cam system. It is independent modules, so they are draw length specific. So if you want to try and change your draw length, you're going to have to order new mods for it. Limb pockets, they have the stable lock limb pockets. Very nice. When you look at them, you can see that they took the time to cut out some of the extra metals that are in it to make it lightweight, and it creates a very, very positive connection for those limb pockets. For the limbs in the limb pockets. On the riser, they have directional venting. They've been designed so that the vibration from the riser is actually transmitted toward the stabilizer bushing. One more step that other designers should probably start thinking about. Seems to work very well, because this you'll see in the videos I shoot it both without a stabilizer and with a stabilizer. And even without the stabilizer, it was pretty vibe free, but once you drop that stabilizer on there was a marked difference. I mean, you could not feel any vibration at all. So very good design, and kudos on that. They also have their sudden stop string dampener. This is an actual carbon rod. This is not one of the fakies that we see out on the market that has fiberglass mixed in with it. This is an actual carbon rod, and it's adjustable through this little nut right here in the back. Very nice, very, very nice system for adjustment that they have on it. So kudos to them on that also. And last but not least, they have all of the hardware on this bow is stainless steel. you know, they've gone to the added expense. It may not seem like you know, a real biggie, but for those of us that like to hunt in the backcountry, you know, where you're in the elements a lot, it pays off. Trust me, I appreciate the fact that they did that. And one other thing I want to mention about the bow before we get on with the videos, my hat is off to them for using a non-conventional camo pattern. They went out completely outside the box and used the Reaper Woods. And for those of you that are you know, a little nervous about seeing skulls and all kinds of freaky stuff in the camo pattern, you can't. But it is a stunning camo pattern. I really like it. Muted. Should work really well. So enough rambling from me. What we're going to do now is I'll take you on to 3 different videos. The first one is going to be the first shot that I took out of the Quicksilver, so you can get my initial reactions and you know, see if there's a little emotion in there on how I like this bow. And then the next clip that I'll throw in, I take 3 consecutive shots without a stabilizer, and then the third clip we'll take 3 shots with a stabilizer, and then when we get done we'll come back here and I'll go over the report card with you. So without any further ado, let's watch the video. Alright guys, here it is. It's the very first shot out of the Quicksilver 34. Just got it set up. See how she does. Now one more. Wow. Really smooth.
30, 38. Definitely.
I think you see a little bit of kick out of that bottom cam. Very little vibe on that thing. That's nice. That's nice. I like the way that feels. Hey, welcome back. As you saw from the videos, I was very impressed with this bow. It balances really well, it shoots really well, it draws really smooth, very, very accurate. I'm very impressed with this bow. We'll go over the report card real quick. Factory options, they got 8 out of 10. They have a fairly standard package. I gave them a little bit of extra credit as far as for thinking outside of the box for using Reaper woods. You know, you either love it or you hate it, and I happen to be one that actually loves this design and this camo, so I gave him some extra points. So, you know, 8 out of 10 on that one. Fit and finish, we're a 10 out of 10. The only marks that were on it when I got it, like I say, this bow went to another rider before it came to me. There's a couple of marks where they had mounted the rest. Other than that, I really couldn't find anything on the bow, so they get 10 out of 10 for that. Cost comparison with an MSRP between $800 and $850. This bow fits right in the mid-range, so they get 5 points out of 5 on that one. Strings, I gave them a 4 out of 5 on the strings. There was a tiny bit of peep rotation in it. Again, I don't know how many shots have been on it, but there was some peep rotation. They look like good quality strings as far as factory goes, but I'm sure some custom strings would benefit it. Factory setup, unfortunately I'm not going to be able to give you an actual score on factory setup because it did come from the factory, but it had already been in the hands of another rider, so we don't know what was done to it. But I'm going to give them 10 out of 10 because everything was pretty much in spec. So, you know, unfortunately, that's one of those subjective calls and I have to make, so they're going to get the 10 out of 10 because, well, it's doing pretty good. Draw cycle, 10 out of 10. It's very, very comparable to one of the other bows that I've done a review on that has just the smoothest buttery draw on the planet. This one is right there with it. Very nice. On the video, it looks like there's a small hump at the end of the draw cycle, and it's funny because you can't feel it at all. You just cannot feel any hump in this thing. The valley is very nice. It's got the adjustable draw stops on it with the slot, the draw stop slot cut out, so you can actually adjust it as opposed to one that has, you know, a bunch of different holes in it. So draw cycle was a 10. Absolutely love it. The transition, stiffness, you know, it is a little, you can feel a little bit of the buildup initially, but it's not bad at all. Some of the ones that I've tested in the past have been pretty stiff. This one, piece of cake. I honestly, as a matter of fact, I think I made a comment to one of the people at the range that it felt like I was drawing 65 pounds. That's why I went over and actually checked, double checked the draw weight on it, but it was right on 70 pounds. So kudos to that. Feel, grip, stability, back wall, weight, a 10. Just a great bow. Tunability, they got a 10 also. I don't have the gauge with me right now, but there is, they actually sent a, you know what, hang on, let me go grab that gauge. Okay, I'm back from Idiotville. I forgot to bring the gauge over. Included with the bows, at first I thought it was a keychain, because it was attached to the riser hanging here, is this cute little piece of metal. And it's a center shot gauge. I want to give an incredible shout out again for going outside the box by creating just the coolest little tool. All you got to do is take this thing and it sits right inside that shelf, and you can set your center shot with this. And when I set it up at the bow shop, after we got the, you know, everything on, I threw that thing up there and set the center shot with it. Took one shot, made the absolute minutest adjustment to the rest, and that was it, man. Bullet hole. So kudos kudos for coming out with that. Wish more people would do it. So, tunability, like I said, 10 out of 10, man. Thing's just awesome. At the shot, I gave them a 9 out of 10 on the shot. I wouldn't feel right, no matter, from a feel perspective, it's a 10. But if I'm, being fair at all, you can't feel it, but there is, the slightest bit of vibration there, and that lower cam, jumping forward just a tiny bit. I'm only going to deduct 1 point away from it, but, in all fairness, I have to do it. I don't want to because it feels incredible at the shot. I'm really enjoying shooting this bow. And then IBO rating, well, actually accuracy, it got a 10. I was slapping arrows left and right. And having just picked the bow up, that's pretty impressive. It usually takes a little while to get used to one, but this thing's got it. IBO rating, that's where we dropped a little bit. I gave them a 7 out of 10 because it did come in under IBO spec. Unfortunately, we're not going to know what it is, what it should be straight out of the factory, again, because we don't know what was done by the writer who had it prior to me. So I'm going to send this thing off, and I'm going to get it optimized, and if it comes back, at the upper end of the IBO range, or even a little bit past, then we know something was done. But right now I've got to give it a 7 out of 10. So, final score was a 93. That's actually really, really good. It's a great bow, guys. This is one that I would absolutely highly recommend to anybody that is looking for a new bow. I don't even know what to say. Just, if you don't want to buy a new bow, don't shoot this thing, because you will buy it. That's it. So, once again, if you guys have any questions, log on to the site, www.archeryaddicts.com. Look me up on DOA Guide, send me a PM or start a discussion, and I'll answer any questions that you have about the bow. So, next time you'll see me, this thing will be optimized, and we'll see what kind of speeds we can really get out of her. Thanks.